Ooh.
I'm blacker than BET, I'm blacker than EBT, I'm blacker than Eazy-E, I'm blacker than TLC, blacker than Escape and SWV, I'm blacker than 8 tracks and stacks of DVDs. We go back like flat tires, I'm blacker than Sapphire, blacker than Baptist churches down south with a black choir, blacker than smoke detectors that's beeping all through the year, blacker than sneaking snacks in the back of the movie theater. I'm blacker than Coltrane, blacker than Soul Train, blacker than gold teeth, earrings and gold chains, blacker than baby kids and even Sinead crib, blacker than everybody that used to be hating Chris. I'm blacker than black mamas that's cooking with Crisco, blacker than every thong affected by Cisco, blacker than roller skating and dancing in disco. I'm blacker than Martin and Bruh Man from the fifth floor, blacker than living single and even Keenan and Kel. I'm blacker than Love Island and baddies and BBLs. I'm blacker than nappy hair and hitting niggas with chairs, blacker than Don Julio with my vision impaired, blacker than home phones and asses that's homegrown, blacker than being back before the street lights come on. I'm blacker than Whole Hiding, I'm blacker than Flow Rider, I'm blacker than gang banging and slanging and low riders. I'm blacker than majorettes, blacker than black schools, blacker than reparations and 40 acres and mules. I'm blacker than Shaka Zulu and burning sages and Hulu. I'm blacker than grandmamas that's cleaning houses and moo-moos. I'm blacker than Tracy Morgan, I'm blacker than Gracie's Corner, I'm blacker than Ali while knocking out George Foreman. I'm blacker than Motown, blacker than Roll Bounce, I'm blacker than brown bags that cover the 40 ounce, blacker than home remedies, lemon and tea bags, blacker than fried chicken and greens at a repast, blacker than don't you dribble that ball in my damn house, blacker than if I brought you in this world I could take you out, blacker than throwing fades, I'm blacker than playing spades, I'm blacker than dreadlocks, afros and box braids, blacker than black preachers, I'm blacker than black Jesus, I'm blacker than Exodus, Romans, Colossians and Ephesians, I'm blacker than all your cabinets that's holding all of your seasons, I'm blacker than breaking out into worship for no reason, I'm blacker than Listerine, I'm blacker than Mr. King, left every voice and sing until earth and heaven ring, blacker than Steve Harvey, I'm blacker than Marcus Garvey and all of my ancestors that made it possible for me, blacker than Jim Crow, the Underground Railroad, my fist is up and I'm proud, my nigga, and I say it loud, I'm black. I'm blacker than BET, I'm blacker than EBT, I'm blacker.
Now we don't need him to go a second time. As much as I love that, we don't need him to go a second time. All right, we got to cut him. Sorry, I got to have that on repeat. So I appreciate everybody that has waited for this for the last couple of days. When I started talking about it to some friends, I had some people who said they literally were interested in seeing what was going to be said because they felt like this was something that might be taking place even in their area. I sent the link to a couple people, and I know I'm talking as if everybody should know who I'm talking about. Well, this is who I'm talking about. I'm talking about these young ladies, these courageous young ladies who are on the screen now. I'm not even on the screen, so let me get on the screen. How about that? All right. So we've got kind of the Brady Bunch thing going on today. There's a few of us up here. I appreciate everybody that is here, and I don't know if we're going to have more ladies join us today, and if more can't join us today, more will join us at some point, because where we are, we're dealing with a situation, and I named this a scream for justice, because once I saw the admissions, the courage for, some of the ladies that are here right today, and heard their stories, I wanted to talk about it. And I have a family member who is here. What's up, Nick? I appreciate everybody coming together this Saturday morning, because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. But what I want to do is I want to let everybody know that these young ladies at some point in their life were residents of Vista Maria, foster care facility. And I learned something about Vista Maria this week. It was something that, and I want to put this up if I can. Can I add this up? Can you ladies all see this? It says, "We must have untiring zeal, never fear difficulties. If we have to climb the highest mountains, we must do so with courage. Sister Mary Euphrasia." Do any of you know of Sister Mary Euphrasia? Have you ever heard of Sister Mary Euphrasia? And I can send this out just to everybody. If anybody's heard of Sister Mary Euphrasia, please feel free to comment. Are we all live? Nobody's ever heard of her? Nobody's ever heard of her? Bueller? Okay. Okay, so Sister Mary Euphrasia, I believe, was a nun from the original making of, are you familiar with the House of the Good Shepherd? Are you familiar with that term, House of the Good Shepherd? Okay, so that was the original name, I guess, of Vista Maria. And Sister Mary Euphrasia, I believe, was a nun at that time in the facility and cared for the girls. So I went through some old site pages and learned some things about Vista Maria before it became the Vista Maria as we all know it, unfortunately. I guess my thing is I want this story to be your story to tell, but I learned that this obviously was something that started out with good intentions, and where it went some, 150 years later, I guess, maybe 180 years later. It opened up in 1883, I believe, originally, and then where we are in 2026 is nowhere near what I think it started out to be. So I can see in alignment, I can see Nikki, and let me just break down. I want to take that off the screen just so I can see everybody's faces. I can see Nikki. I can see, is it Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Is that your name? Okay, and I can see Michelle, and I can see Trish. Now, everybody that is here right now, hopefully other ladies do chime in. They all have the link. We have our own, group text thing going on. So hopefully other ladies will come in. But I want to start with Nikki, and then go to Aaliyah, and then go to Michelle, and then go to Trish. How you doing? Hi, Trish. I didn't mean to forget you there. But I want to know if you're able to tell me, because some of the people knows your story from the link they may have seen, but if they haven't seen the link, I need to know if you're able to tell me in brevity from the start your experience of dealing with the Vista Maria home, and maybe even a little bit of how you got there, because I think everybody else's experiences were different in getting there, but the reasoning was pretty much the same thing, and it was because we were disenfranchised from our original home. So if I can just start with you, Nick, can you please just tell us, how you got there, and with some brevity, your experience with Vista Maria.
I started off with a trespassing ticket at 11 because my mom wouldn't put me on her lease at the.
Okay, you know how I do shit. You know how I do shit here. I got to stop you. Trespassing?
Yes.
In your own home?
Because my mom wouldn't put me on the lease at 11.
But how would you be on the lease at 11? You're a child.
Well, apparently now you have to have kids on your lease, but that's how I caught my first ticket, and that's how I ended up in the system.
Okay. So that's how you got to Vista Maria. So you caught a trespassing ticket, and with that trespassing ticket, I know that wasn't enough for them to put you into foster care. Like, what happened next?
I kept having issues with my mother, back and forth for a few years. I kept getting put out, running away. Then she'd put me out and say I ran away, and then she'd put me out, and then it just got to the point where I just ran away.
Okay. So you were having ongoing issues with your mother at home. Sounds like she didn't really have things tight. So you ended up running away. Okay, so now you are outcasted from your home, and how did Vista Maria come into play at that point?
Needless to say, Canton at the time is Wayne County. It still is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we ended up at Frank Murphy Hall. She told the judge to keep me. They sent me down to JDF. I was there for a few months waiting for a placement. Then they sent me to the Good Shepherd Center, which is like the detention part of Vista Maria.
Okay.
And then they sent me from there to Dolores Hall.
Okay. Aaliyah.
I was living with my aunt before I went to Vista Maria, and
Can I ask what happened to mom and dad?
I got taken from the state from something that never happened.
Okay.
So CPS took me. I originally went with my aunt, but she was crazy. And so
Okay.
state ended up taking me out of there and putting me in a whole bunch of different foster homes. Well, I always ran away from the foster homes because I wanted to go home. I didn't want to be
Right.
in the system. I had a home.
That's
Uh,
normal. That's natural.
yeah. And so basically, after so many foster homes, they had nowhere to put me in. They ended up putting me in Vista Maria because of running away. And at that time, Beata was the lockdown facility because it changed from the Good Shepherd's Hall to Beata. And I was in Beata the whole time I was there.
Okay. And this was a one and done situation. Once you had got with your aunt and then you ended up going there, was there ever a situation that your aunt tried to get things back in order, or any other family member tried to get anything back in order to get you back, or were you, once you were there, you were just there?
Well, once I was there, the next step was basically adoption. So I got
Okay.
put in an adoption program, and they ended up, one of my aunts ended up seeing me on the news for adoption, and she ended up coming down there and getting me from there a year and a half later.
Okay. Okay. So you spent in a foster home. You were away from the campus, and you were in an actual home, actual residence. And then your aunt came back, and this is a different aunt at this point, right?
This is a total different aunt. I tried to tell my
Okay.
other aunt what was going on, and she didn't care.
I got you. Okay. Okay. Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, hon?
I'm good. I'm good. Now I'm not really good, but we're gonna put a good front on right now. We're gonna say we good right now because I'm not really
We're
good. Because
live.
yeah, we're live, so we're going.
Yes. Amen.
Tell me how you got to Vista.
Well, my mother was really bad on substance abuse. She didn't take care of me, or my siblings. So, CPS was called and I was placed into foster care. I was in a mental hospital first called Circle of Life for like 30 days until they had an opening at Vista Maria. I got into Vista Maria by the end of 2007. Um, and I was placed into Beata Hall. Um,
Okay.
Not a good place, but
Sure. So this was just straight from home. I mean, no, just troubled parenting or parenting. Your mother wasn't prepared to be a parent. How many siblings do you have?
I have two siblings.
Okay, and did your other siblings end up in foster care as well?
Just one because he was considered a minor. My brother was placed into foster care too.
Okay. So mom wasn't able to keep a grip, and you ended up in foster care, and then the other sibling was old enough. They aged out and they went into the world.
Yeah, she was already 18.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're gonna be circling back in just a second. Hey, Trish, how you doing?
I'm good.
So how did you get into Vista Maria?
So I actually represent the teenager that ran from Vista last year. That's my niece. She's a minor, and so she can't.
Was she the one that I saw in the news? She was on the news. Okay, like you guys were sitting like in the corner, like of the table there. I think I remember watching it.
No. A different team.
Oh wow. Okay.
My niece is the one that ran in March of 25.
Oh, okay. That's a whole. I know the story, but that's okay. Okay, please. I won't interrupt anymore. Go ahead.
But she was placed there because she was having difficulty with life after her mom passed. She came to
Okay.
live with me, and she got a bunch of runaway issues, and so she was placed in there.
Okay. So, can foster care just come into play without any type of, I mean, maybe we're jumping because I did ask for brevity, but were social workers and people involved trying to keep you ladies like in your home? And we'll go back with Nick, like your situation is a little different because your mother seemed like she just didn't want to be a parent. And I mean, I guess it kind of seems like that with everybody here, but like, where were caseworkers, social workers, child protective services? Like, were there any advocates that were actually trying to keep you in your home?
No.
No.
Okay. Once you're in the system, you're in the system, basically, is what you're telling me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
In Wayne County, they want you. They just ticketed my
Okay.
10-year-old.
Your 10-year-old?
Yes, Madison has a ticket
For what?
because a Caucasian child kept picking with her the entire school year on the bus, and Maddie finally snapped, and they gave her a child creating a disturbance.
Of course.
Child creating a disturbance. Did they give the one to the child that was picking with her a ticket?
No.
Okay. It's always that, we see the second person first, we didn't see the person that caused it, but we see the person who retaliated. I get it.
Mm-hmm. But the same little girl been calling her the N-word. And then on top of it, they just picked her black best friend off the bus for the rest of the school year. But the same little white kids is there.
So we're school administrators in this. And I don't want to get too far off the track, but I'm concerned because we're in March. We've only got a couple more months here. So how are those kids going to get to school? If they rely on the bus, how are they going to get to school?
I pulled Maddie out the school system and Lanaya. They're going to be homeschooled.
Understood. For any of the other ladies,
Wayne County loves to take children.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah,
I don't want to seem naive.
Again.
Are you all from the Wayne County area, or is anybody else from other? Okay, so everybody's from the Wayne County area, and I don't want to seem naive, but I'm from Washtenaw County. And frankly, I didn't see a lot of this growing up in Ann Arbor. I know that there were specific cases with different situations. I knew kids that lived in foster homes. I was friends with many kids that lived in foster homes and didn't know they lived in foster homes because they went to school with me. So I guess my, being naive was enough to like, okay, they walked that way home. I didn't realize that when a bunch of them walked that way home, they were all walking to the same house. So getting to Vista Maria, because this is really where our focus is. This is where your detriment has happened. It wasn't so much that you ended up in foster care. It was that you ended up at Vista Maria. So we're going to call shots here. Vista Maria, to me, from what I've heard, at least for the last 50 plus years, and I know we don't have some of the elder people who went through the program. I was hoping to get them on, and maybe we can get them on at some point to talk about their experiences because they mirror yours. Vista Maria, for at least the last 50 years, has been on some bullshit. And I've heard of people doing ridiculous things and never being held accountable for it. So I guess I kind of want to go to the next level. And you went into Vista Maria, Nick, and then you went into Vista Maria, Aaliyah, Michelle, and Trish. Trish, your niece, I believe you said your niece went into Vista Maria. So when you get brought to Vista Maria, is that supposed to be your permanent residence, or are they actively working to try to get you into a domestic situation, get you off the campus and into a domestic situation? Because
the program was like 6 to up to a year until you had to be there until you finished it.
Okay. So you go through a program, and then you get some type of, I'm not sure if it's a certification or just some type of completion of it, and then that lets them know where you're headed to. Like, I guess either are you going to stay there or are you going to go into a home? Who determines all of that? Like, is there a board? Is this one or two people that determine, if you're ready to go out or not?
In my case, it was, since I was in foster care and I had no really problems going in there, they told me it would have to be up to the courts and my social worker for me to get released back home if my mother followed all the programs and stuff that she was supposed to do.
Okay. So if your mother doesn't act right, you don't get out.
I don't get out.
Got it. In your case, your mother didn't want you there, Nick. So what was your MO at that point? Because you don't have a home to go to. So what was your situation? Did you go through a program in waiting to get into a domestic foster care away from the campus?
Well, I went to one foster home and it was, I don't even know how they had kids in there. I ended up running from it. We'll just say it was completely inappropriate. I wasn't comfortable with the foster dad in the home. He was
Understood.
a little off. So I ran from that one.
Okay, and then when you ran from that one, was it just back to Vista Maria at that point?
I was on the run for about a good 3 months before I got caught.
Okay.
Somebody happened to see a missing person poster of me, and then they picked me up, sent me back to JDF. JDF sent me back to Vista Maria, and then Vista Maria sent me back to Dolores Hall. And I was at Dolores Hall for like another year, I think, 9 months to a year. And then I got released to another foster home. And don't get me wrong, my foster mom, Michelle, was absolutely amazing. But by the time she got me, I was so damaged that there was nothing she could do with me. I ran.
I got you. And what years are we talking age-wise for you when you first went in, Nick?
I was about 15, 14, just turned 15. I was young.
Okay.
And I left there at like 17.
Got it.
15,
now,
17.
And just so we don't jump, like, what were your earliest ages of going into foster care, Michelle?
I got into foster care at the age of 14, turning 15. I was there twice. I was in Vista Maria twice. I didn't get released officially out of Vista Maria for good until after 16. I was 16 and a half, going on 17.
Okay. And Aaliyah, your situation, were you ever in completion of the program? Were you got into a foster home?
What do you mean?
Like, did you go through the program, the year program, where you were ready to get out and you could get into a foster home?
I had to finish my program before they even put me up for adoption.
Okay. And were you ever adopted into a home?
Yeah, one of my aunts came and got me from Detroit and brought me back and adopted me.
Okay, so you weren't in a standard or traditional foster care home where you didn't know the people from the outset. You went with family.
Before Vista, I was absolutely. I was in 11 different foster homes.
11?
11 different foster homes.
Okay, we'll circle back around to that because it sounds like Nick had an issue with the foster parent. Okay, we'll go there. Now, Trish, your niece is a minor now. How long has she been in the system?
Her mom passed away when she was 14, but she immediately came to me.
Okay.
And she was placed into Vista when she was 15.
Okay.
She ran from Vista right after her 16th birthday, and she just turned 17.
Okay. So it sounds like the age demographics are all pretty close, early teens to mid-teens. And is that traditional, or do you generally see younger girls at Vista Maria that come in there earlier? Or is this pretty much the wheelhouse for the age groups?
I've seen younger girls. The youngest girl.
I've seen 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yep, 10,
10-year-olds.
I see 9-year-olds. I was locked with it. I was in Beata Hall with a 9-year-old girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's babies too.
Yeah.
Right. This is, I mean, I'm concerned with every situation, but when they come in that young, they don't know nearly what a 14, 15-year-old is. You're not housed in the same areas, are you?
We are.
Are you you're all in one area?
Yep.
Okay. So fundamentally, there's some issues there, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. getting in there
There's
and
also
getting into the
different
program.
halls.
One more time, you were muffled there.
There's different
One more
halls
time.
like Beaver, Dolores, Rose,
Okay.
Lords,
Lord.
And do they?
And say I know a few more.
D-Roy, Shepherd.
And obviously you're all in there for different situations, but the circumstances obviously are the same. The consequences are the same, I guess I should say. Do they have people that specialize in dealing with the early child development to the teenagers, preteens to teenagers, or like how does that work out? Because it doesn't sound like there's a lot of I don't know what the system has been, just based on what I've heard previously to talking with you ladies. Like, what happens if a 9-year-old, 9-year-old comes in there? Are they basically with some people that deal with teenagers all the time, so they don't really,
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a lot of quick growing up from what I'm hearing. I'm thinking a 9, 10-year-old that comes in, if they're only dealing with someone who's used to dealing with teenagers, they're going to grow up a lot quicker. And then if you got somebody that's dealing with teenagers and they don't deal with them properly, then, I can see where problems come in. So I'm going to jump right in here. The abuse, the neglect, everything that's gone on at Vista Maria, like I said, for the past 50 plus years, because we at least can document that just based on the people that we know and we've talked to. What did you encounter, Nick? Let's say the first 30 to 60 days dealing with Vista Maria as far as the neglect or the abuse went. How did they come at you?
Within the first couple of days, we had issues with being let out to use the bathroom at night. That was within the first few days to a week there. They did not like to open the doors for you at night if somebody was even on your wing.
So you didn't have a restroom in a facility like where you were at? You were locked in?
So it's like there's rooms, there's some single rooms and some rooms are like double rooms. Like they have multiple beds in there. But at night when you go in, they lock your door with a key. So there's no way for you to open your door to be able to get out to use the restroom. So if nobody opens that door and nobody's on your hall or say there's a fire, you're just done for.
Okay, that's on some bullshit right there anyway. So, okay. Aaliyah, how long did it take before you started to feel the wrath of Vista Maria?
In the first 30 days, for sure. Like with the shower thing, they didn't let us take showers on shower days sometimes. So I wasn't going in my room without a shower. That's just how I was raised. I always take showers. I'm not a dirty.
Shower days? You didn't bathe daily?
No, there's shower days when I was there. And I refused to go in my room and excuse me. Two big men came in, and well, the other one wasn't big, but the one was really big. And another woman came in and they grabbed me up and twisted my arm behind my back. And the restraints that they do, it feels like they're gonna snap your fucking arm.
So wait a minute. I was gonna let you get your point across because I'm an overtalker. Y'all don't know me. Nick knows me. I'm an overtalker, and I really didn't want to interrupt you, but I had to stop you at the end of that sentence right there. You said men. You're in a women's hall. This is an all women's hall, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So why were men in here with y'all? I get corrections, I get officers and this, that, but why were men in here with y'all? Like preteens, early child, preteens, teens. Why was that a situation? Or how was that even a situation?
Was men allowed to work in the whole girls' campus?
That's a great
The
question.
whole
We
campus.
just
That's the
don't
great
have
question that I
answers
want to
for.
know.
So these men were in charge of you, like, and they pretty much had their
do
way with you.
anything. They can do anything to you.
I assume that men were around, I guess, for security purposes, but then women would deal with you when it came to especially your feminine stuff. But you're telling me that it was the men who actually were the workers? Like what percentage of women even worked at Vista Maria when you guys or you ladies were there?
It was about 50-50 when I was there, mixed.
Okay.
It was mixed when I was there.
Okay. So there were enough to where when it came down to maybe some personal things to where, you know, there could be some exposure for your bodies and things like that, sensitive situations, there were enough women there to take care of you at that point where men shouldn't have had to come into play. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little off on this. I'm a girl dad. Nick knows I'm a girl dad. I've got, it's just a whole bunch of estrogen running around here. It's just me and my grandson is around, but everybody else is a girl. The dogs are a girl. The cat was a girl. Everybody's girls here. So I'm real sensitive to females, I guess. Men took the reins. What did the ladies do when you were getting manhandled by these individuals? Did the lady workers ever step in and say, "Hey, I'll take care of that"? What was their situation? I'm trying to find out because I'm doing all these fact finding questions for a reason. Y'all know this.
They didn't care because at the end of the day, like they told us, they got to go home. We didn't.
Yep.
If they didn't,
They verbalized that.
They verbalized that. They would tell us that to our face. They get to go home tonight.
Wow. So them bitches didn't even deserve to work there.
No.
Okay.
Fine.
Wow. And so I guess I'm trying to find some compassion in all this when I really know there's not. I'm not trying to be naive. I'm trying to find some compassion. So you didn't get any compassion from the female workers. You absolutely didn't get anything from the male workers. Who protected you in any way while you were there? And anybody can answer this. Like, who was the protective spirit for you while you were at Vista Maria, or was there one?
The girls.
We
had each other's back.
We had each other's back.
Basically. And
So y'all protected each other. Y'all the prey, but y'all protecting each other.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I muffled you.
When I was there, who actually lost her job for speaking out. I will not name her, but I love her to death forever, and she knows who she is. And I'll send this podcast to her. She knows who she is. But she was the shit. She did not play with Vista. She spoke out when I was there. She ended up getting fired. And then after I left, she came back to Vista.
So, and I guess they would call her a whistleblower because she spoke up. She said something. They would call her a whistleblower. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Anybody? I'm sorry.
They had problems with her something.
Okay. These individuals that were there and worked there, was this their full-time job, or did they work in other places and Vista Maria was kind of a moonlighting situation? Did you see these people every day, or was it interchange, like where you didn't really get familiar with people and they, maybe they worked at other facilities?
Some of them I seen every day.
Yeah,
okay.
Some I see every day.
Okay, so, and when you see
in the new building and a staff member had to be moved, all they would do is shift them to another building.
Yep.
So if there were issues, like definitive issues, you're saying that they wouldn't terminate that individual? They would just move them to another building?
Specifically with male staff, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And anybody that's checking this out, I appreciate you listening to these ladies because they definitely have a story to tell. I know that there is a lawsuit that's pending, and I don't want to get anywhere near where we violate any of that. I'm hoping, because I saw the presser, I saw some other links from some people being interviewed. I'm hoping that your sanctity is still intact and you're going to be able to tell your story all the way down to the names, descriptions, of course, but the names of individuals that you went through when it's time, when you go to court. And do you remember, because some of these traumatic situations cause us to lose our memories, do you remember the people that you encountered when you were there enough to when you are called to voice your concerns in court, that you'll be able to give them everything they need? Because I think there's going to be situations down the line. I don't know about statute of limitations and stuff like that, but it sounds like there was some criminal behavior. And I'm going to go back down. I'm going to go down that trail in just a second. But are all of you still good with your memory as who you dealt with and things that had happened? So when you are brought, that they will be able to take the next step to bring those people to justice? Is everybody good with that right now?
I'll never forget them. So absolutely.
I remember.
I wish
Okay.
I could forget what happened to me. Every day I wish I could forget it, but unfortunately, I think I will remember him for the rest of my life.
Okay. And Trish, you have a minor in this scenario and currently not at Vista. I take it. She's gone.
She was never taken back.
Okay, she was never taken back.
No,
And-
because after 3 days, they have to give up the bed, and she was missing for 6 weeks before we
Okay.
found her. So she
Okay.
was placed in another place.
Did she run because she just didn't want to be in there, or did she run because she was being abused?
Both.
Okay. This is the tough part for me. I've learned now that half the staff was male, which I heard male stuff in the presser, but it went by so quickly with the individual voices. And I do know a little bit now because you just exposed it, Nick. Were you ever violated in Vista Maria, Nick?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you told someone.
Yeah.
What did that individual do? And because that's all you can do at that point. Once you have been violated, you told someone, you told another adult. What did that individual do at that point?
They told me I was a fucking liar. And then all the staff treated me funny after that. Then they moved that male staff.
I'll be right back.
To another building.
Yes.
They gave him another praying ground. Okay. After, let's just say that's the one time, because we ain't even got into you being in the foster care home yet. After that one time, after staffers acting funny around you, were you ever violated again?
They brought a new male staff in, yes.
Okay. Got it.
Who
We'll come back to Aaliyah. She stepped away for a minute.
even
So,
after I ran
Michelle-
Vista Maria, I still
One more
seen
time. I'm
him.
sorry.
Even after
You
I
still
seen
see-
I seen him outside of Vista Maria.
Oh, wow. What was that encounter like?
He basically, let's just say he housed me for a while
Okay.
while I was on the run.
Okay. Your age at the time?
I was 17,
His age at the time?
like 40 something.
So he enabled your abandonment, grooming, maybe? It's one more time.
He was a Southfield narc.
Oh, fuck. So the shit gets worse. It gets worse. So these are not just people that work at Vista Maria. He was an actual law enforcement officer.
A narcotics officer at midnight.
And memory's still intact. You got some details to this date. That's wild. Okay.
He drove a red Monte Carlos.
One more time.
He drove a 2-door red Monte Carlos
Okay.
and stayed off Jordan Road. I remember. My memory's great.
Something is continuing like to muffle you, like it. I can hear you clearly, like every other word, but then, and I don't know if the other ladies can hear you, if it's muffling to you, but
It's
yeah,
a little
just wherever.
muffling.
It's a little
Okay.
muffling.
Okay. Now everybody's good right then. Let me hear you now, Nick.
I said he
Yeah.
drove the
Got you.
two-door red Monte Carlo
Okay.
and stayed.
When you said Monty came through clear. Carlo was a little, but I got what you said. Okay, Aaliyah, you stepped away for a second. I was going to go to Michelle, but you're back, so you're up. I've heard that we're buffering. I don't know if we're buffering or not, but we're going to keep it moving. That could be that person's signal because nobody else has said anything that we're buffering. Aaliyah, were you ever violated by the male workers or female workers at Vista Maria?
Both actually. I'd call it a violation if you throw someone in a BMR room and cut their clothes off and leave them in there for a night. With
Can you give me what the BMR stands for?
Behavioral monitoration room or something like that.
I got it.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So
right when you walk into the BMR, it's the wing I was in was all white and padded with a white floor, and they had
okay.
a camera on the left hand, or no, it was the right hand, or no, left hand corner, and then the other one was in the right hand corner, so it could see the whole everything.
Okay. So
They're supposed to give you a paper gown, but they always told us that they ran out conveniently.
so they took your clothes off and they put you in this padded room, behavioral monitorization room.
Monitoration room, yes.
Monitoration room. Okay.
Yeah. I
Nude.
slaughter that word.
Yeah, I just butchered it too. I think I probably would have just said monitoring. I probably would have bailed out and just said behavioral monitoring room. Okay, we'll go there. So let's just go into that room. You went in for whatever behavioral issue, and I'm not here to blame you for whatever behavioral issue you had there. Why the stripping of the clothing? Why did they feel that you did not need clothing being in that room? Is that for your protection?
I kept screaming at them, asking them, please don't take my clothes, like at least leave, my undergarments and stuff like that. And they said you could hang yourself with that, or you could try and choke yourself with that. And so that was the reason.
Okay. I was going to go down there because I was like, if they're doing it for your safety's sake, but then that's where the other gown comes in to where you are protected. So you were left in there without any clothes, without any clothing on, without any undergarments for how long?
A whole night. I was in there all night till breakfast and med time the next morning.
Does anybody come in and check on you at that point? I mean,
no, they're checking on you through the camera.
I mean, there's an actual camera that's watching you while you're in there?
Yeah, there's two.
Yep.
On each side, on each corners of the freaking room, so it could see the whole room.
Who's monitoring the camera?
The supervisors.
Men, I'm sure.
Yes.
Both. Women and men.
Okay. So, and as we know about cameras, they record. The footage, where's that footage at now at this point? Because I'm sure somebody's either destroyed it and they have to go to the people that were working at that point because they're culpable, because there's no way that they didn't document what was going on, because just in case, what if you had hurt yourself, they would have had to have gone back. Who controlled all of that at that point? Because at some point you were in there. Nick, were you ever in the BMR room?
Ours was a little different. It was just wood. There wasn't no padding in it, and they just kind of threw you in there naked and had somebody sit at the door with you when I was in there.
Okay. Michelle, were you ever in the BMR room?
Plenty of times, unfortunately. They would, with me, they took all my clothes, locked me in there, turned off the light. And what they would do to torture me, because they knew, for one, I'm claustrophobic. I didn't like being in the dark either because of it. And they would put black color paper onto the doors and tape it so it can be completely pitch black. No light going into the room at all.
Trish, was your niece ever put into the BMR room?
She's not completely told me her whole story. She's still pretty traumatized from it, but she's not
Understood.
in the BMR room. But I wouldn't put it past them that they did.
And I guess I get from some stances isolation to keep you out of harm's way, maybe from either other girls who were in there. But the whole fact of taking your clothes and things like that, that's where the paper gowns, I guess, would come into play. It seems like it was a step off for taking all of your garments off. I don't see any reasoning for that. Because if that's the case, then, and they're saying that there's no gowns, they were always out. That all has to be documented at some point. There's no way that there can't be any gowns. That's what this facility is for. Vista Maria, if I'm not mistaken, is only for girls, correct?
Yes.
It's not a boys' campus, it's not a co-ed campus, right?
Yeah, unless you're in like the open program, but there's only like maybe 50 kids in the open program.
Okay. So let's just say this. Let's just say in the building that you might have happened to be in, they were out of gowns. There's several other buildings. Nobody ever thought about going over to another building, getting a stack of gowns and bringing them back. See, I just think too logically about this shit. This is where the neglect comes in and the abuse comes in, because I get it that there may have been a situation where you might have had to been placed in this room, but why with no clothing on if you're not trying to do something deviant? And you're telling me that there's multiple cameras peering in on you for hours and you don't have any clothing on? That's perverse. That's aggravated perversity, to be honest with you.
They don't even give you a blanket to cover up.
So, and I guess that goes in the lines of, yeah, you can hang yourself, but who the fuck is trying to hang themselves? So I don't even know how you can do that, because I'm sure if these rooms are padded, they're not giving you anything where you could lock something onto and where you could hang yourself.
Nothing on the ceiling to lock onto to hang yourself, even if you wanted to. It was an excuse.
Right. So
it was an excuse to watch little girls. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is just another lane of pedophilia in my book. It's just another lane of pedophilia. So, in dealing with these people on a day-to-day basis, I feel like there's no need for me asking, did you ever feel good or confident about any situation? Because I don't think there was a day. What were your days like with the other girls? Like, was there plotting? Like, because like you say, all you had was one another. I mean, did you just talk about the things that were going on in there? Did you try to talk about better days ahead? Did you talk about the past bad days? Like, what was a day like going through this? And then I also want to know, because once you get together and you start talking to each other, the workers probably didn't like that camaraderie. I would have to guess they didn't really like you fraternizing with each other, because you could be possibly plotting something. But what was your daily life like in this place dealing with these animals?
We learned how to talk in sign language, and they used to get so mad because they couldn't understand
Cold
it.
word.
We'd get in trouble.
Cold word.
Yep.
And I mean, you don't get into a job like this just for the wage. There's a reason you either care or you're there to do harm. And I don't know if you can remember this. This is kind of calculated. Do you ever remember somebody coming in like as a new hire in Vista Maria? Like being new to the organization? Or was pretty much everybody that you came across, had they been there and just maybe been moved around the campus? Do you ever remember a new hire coming in?
Mr. Rush, God rest his soul. But he was one of the listeners that did not play it.
So Mr. Rush was a good guy. He was a good guy.
Mr. Rush was a great guy.
Why
Yes,
do
he
the
was
good guys got to be
authorized.
gone? Why do the good people in this world got it? Because we need him for the lawsuit. We need him to be able to speak up. So Mr. Rush came in. He saw the bullshit going on, and did Mr. Rush step in and advocate for you, like for the ones who encountered Mr. Rush? You know, did he stop some of the detriment by the people who were actually, you know, already working there?
I was on my way out the door by the time he came. I never told him anything that went on. I kept my head low and stayed the fuck out the way.
Got it. Okay.
He
Anybody
didn't
else
work.
encounter Mr.
I encountered him a couple of times. He didn't work in my building, but sometimes he would. Every time he worked on our floor, it was the best experience. I mean, he was strict, but he was nice.
Sure.
He never put up with people's bull crap, not even the staff, you know. Especially if we were
Understood.
treated wrong by the other staff, he did step up and say a few things to the other staff.
Okay.
But
Okay. So he
he
did
was
protect.
amazing.
He did protect and advocate. Okay.
He did
And
at my building.
okay. Okay. And did you ever encounter Mr. Rush, Aaliyah? Was he gone by the time you?
I'm pretty sure he was gone because I don't know that person.
Okay. Did you ever have anybody advocate for you or the girls while they were there, like to kind of go against what was going on with the other workers, or was pretty much everybody bad?
I can't say her name, but
Sure.
she knows who she is, and she's very
Sure.
much loved
Sure.
by me. She
Okay.
lost her job trying to speak up for the kids and stuff like that.
Fuck.
Yeah,
So they either die or they get fired. The people and this is in real life. This is in real life, so I get it. You know, the good die young, or they get extinguished in some way. They figure out a way to spin out, and they're going to call them the bad ones. They're going to call whistleblowers. They're going to call protectors and advocators. They're going to call all those people the bad ones. I'm looked at, Nick. You know, I'm looked at as a pariah in this community because I can't stand pedos, and I don't like people that are in these positions that shouldn't be in the positions around children or women or anything that don't deserve it, because there should just be a code. And you ladies dealt with some situations that I can't fathom. I can't fathom, and I wouldn't even understand if my children or anybody that I was associated with other than yourselves, what would have gone on had I known in real time. Because I'm just that laying in wait Aquarian. I might not get you today, but motherfucker, I'm going to get you at some point. I don't understand how no one came to your defense while you were there. And I really don't get the whole family aspect. I know people that have been through foster care. I don't know how families turn them back on you. Getting into the system of Vista Maria, understanding, did you ever lose sight of like an out time, or did you just say, I'm going to plot till I can run away again. I'm going to work to get to a point, you know, where I can get to a home, and then when I get to a home, I'm going to run from there. Like, what was like if there was a long-term goal, what was your long-term goal once you knew you were in the midst of this and it wasn't going to get any better here? And I want to go the other way, because your niece never went back, you said, right, Trish? She never went back. So the goal was
And
to get
I
her
have
back to
also,
family.
yeah, I had actually found out that she had ran twice from Vista, but I had only
Oh,
been
okay.
informed of one. So yeah, the way it seemed like she plotted her run in March for a while
Okay.
and made sure she stayed hidden until she knew that she absolutely could not go back.
Got it. Okay. Did you plot an exit strategy, Michelle? Was there ever a situation where you were like, I've only got to do this, this, and this, and then I'm going to get to a foster care home, or what was your daily goals to get out of Vista? Because we knew that wasn't the way.
I wanted to continue all my groups. Well, see, with me, when I was assaulted, they covered it up and sent me back home to my mother, who was still very much, unfortunately, on drugs. So they didn't care that they put me back into the home that was not taking care of me. What they wanted to do was cover everything up. I don't know if the guy got fired. I don't know if he was transferred to the building. I don't know nothing of what happened to him. But when I was placed into Vista Maria the second time, called Rose Hall, I really didn't have as many problems as there. I did graduate the program. Of course, my primary, she protected me at all costs. I love her to death. I wish I could find her. I completed the goals. I got graduated and I got placed into a lower down foster care facility place called Girls Town, which eventually I aged out of foster care and was released back home. So my goal was to get back home at all costs because, to be honest with you, I'd rather be at home with my mother, who was still very much on drugs, than be in a place that basically ruined me at
Sure.
that case. So my therapist, we had goals of groups, therapy, taking your medication as prescribed. I did all that. But they still found ways to not take me back home, which I can understand. But then I find out from the grapevine that my mom was at the age of 16, after I got placed back into Vista Maria, she actually did get clean. I found out my caseworker got fired after the age of 18 because she got caught falsifying paperwork, basically stating that my mother was not doing what she was supposed to do, even though she was. So to think that I could have been back home at the age of 16 really irks me off because
Did you say your caseworker, your actual caseworker,
Yeah, my foster care worker.
was working against you?
Yes, and I told her what happened to me the first time I was in Vista Maria. I told her and I told the supervisor of Vista Maria of Beata Hall. They both did nothing. They did nothing. They knew what happened to me and they didn't believe me.
So you were physically abused, and it's
It
all
wasn't just
violence to me.
physical. It wasn't just
I was,
physical.
I'm trying to tread this thin line.
Yeah.
You were raped. I'm taking
Unfortunately,
that.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was really trying to stay away from there. The shit affects me differently than I'm just, okay. So you were raped, and this is an individual. Was this one consistent individual, or was this by multiple Vista
It was
Maria?
just one male. It was just one male staff. And it only happened one time. And after
Okay.
that, I tried multiple attempts to take my life to try to get out of there. It never worked the first time. When it worked the second time, I got placed into Circle Life for at least 30 days, and they released me back to Vista Maria. When I got back to Vista Maria, I was on one-on-one with a female worker, and her name was, God bless her, she was awesome, Miss Finch. And I found out the caseworker came and said, well, you're getting released to go back home. So what you need to do is pack all your stuff. Your ride's coming in a couple hours and you're going back home. I was shocked, like, how are you releasing me back home when my mom is still very much, not herself, I didn't realize until years later that even my therapist told me that that was a cover up, that they released you because they wanted to cover up what happened there at that place.
And I'm really trying not to get my super sleuth hat on, because I know we're limited in time, and I don't want to keep you ladies, because I want to carry these conversations on. I could sit here with y'all for hours, because this gives you an opportunity to get the shit out. I've always believed that there's more room out than in, and these things can't be secrets, because whoever sees these clips that we're going to put out everywhere, you're going to help some people. You're going to help some people who are scared to come out, and they can start to tell their truths as well. And I salute you once again. Now, that individual, you said he abused you the one time and he never did it again. But did you encounter?
Do it again.
Okay.
I've never seen him
Okay.
again.
You never saw him again.
Never saw him again.
Isn't that odd? Like, what?
When I got back from Circle of Life and they placed me back into Vista Maria, I was only there for one day when I got released because they were releasing me back home. I'd never saw
Okay.
him. I didn't see
Okay,
anybody.
so-
I didn't even get to see the girls.
Oh. So you were
They had to be-
isolated when you came
Yes.
back.
Yes, and when the girls did try to come up and say hi to me, the staff would literally say, go back to the lobby, go back to the living area. She is not allowed to talk to anybody. Basically, they said she is on one-on-one suicide watch. She can't talk to anybody, even though I was not suicide at that time. I was on my medication. I was in therapy and all that. So for them to keep me isolated like that, I mean, yeah, I had a female staff talking to me, you know. But
you ladies know what CYA is? You know what CYA is?
No.
Cover your ass. They were covering their asses by doing that because they couldn't allow you to come in and tell some explicit truth about this individual that they didn't believe that assaulted you. And now that you're back in play, chances are you weren't the only one he ever assaulted.
I don't think that was.
I don't believe predators prey on one person. I believe they prey on many. However many they actually get to, it's up to them. But this individual probably preyed on more and attacked more than you'll ever know. He only did it to you. Thank God he only did it to you one time. But for you to never have seen him again,
never.
That means somebody believed you, and they got his ass out the fucking paint. There was probably enough.
I don't even know if he was just transferred to another building. Like, I heard nothing about him.
Could be.
Even when I got placed back into Rose Hall a few months later, I'd never seen him. I never heard his name. Nobody even mentioned his name. I told one person there at Rose Hall, and that was my primary. And she made sure she protected me.
I get it. See, systems like this, and this is where, the police agencies have a thing when, they believe in protecting the badge. They protect themselves. Even though they're supposed to protect the people, they protect themselves above all. And things like this happen in other situations, and I know that they looked out for themselves because not only was he guilty, but whoever put him in contact or allowed him to be in contact with you without any type of supervision, because I just have a hard time believing that there's not a second set of eyes, hands, feet available. And if they've got men dealing with you, why isn't that second set a female? Or if they have to do anything physical, why isn't that primary set of hands female versus the guy being there for physical support in case you overpower one of the workers? For the men to be the primary go-tos, first responders as it were, is crazy to me, because most men don't know their own strength, and the ones who actually do, they abuse it. A lot of them who know their own strength, I think, Aaliyah, you were saying that they would put you in these holds to the point where, they're snapping your arms damn near. It's not that a female can't do that.
It broke one girl's arm that I heard about. There's probably more, but that I heard about, there was one girl that got her arm broke by them.
What'd you say, Nick?
I've seen a girl get her collarbone snapped.
This is our collarbone right here, right?
This right here got snapped and restrained.
How the fuck do you snap somebody's collarbone restraining them? Because you're making limbs go to a point that they can't go to, and they can't go any further.
So the girl was on the ground like this. The female was holding her legs. There was a lady at the front trying to grab her arms, and the dude was sitting on her back with both his knees, and he pulled her arms back all the way like this, like a chicken wing, and kept pulling.
Okay.
And she kept.
You lost me when you said he sat on her back. You lost me when you said he sat on her. What the fuck is he sitting on her back for anyway? I don't even understand that logic. Why would you have to sit on a young female's back as a grown man? That's not restraining. That's abuse. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay. The fuck. Don't want to discount anything that's happened, but we've sat where we are with how you got there, things that have happened, people that may have advocated for you. Unfortunately, none of them are around or not in play. Hopefully you'll be able to get a hold of some people so they can get to court when you do end up going to court. But what I want to know is, how did you all find each other to get this going? And unfortunately, Moose isn't here with us today. And maybe we can get him on. I'd even like to talk to him one-on-one because I saw his struggles. Moose was the person in the presser, correct? He was the one in the presser sitting in the midst of you ladies?
No, that's mine.
No.
That's
That
my.
was
Oh, that's Mike. Okay. I don't know Moose from Mike. Okay. Mike is the person that I saw in the presser, and he was struggling. He has a hard time hearing your stories, and he's pretty much on the same line as I. But because I kind of do this, it's a lifestyle for me. I have no problem with getting it out. What it does to me before and what it did to me after, or what it's going to do to me after, that's not anybody's business, because right now I'm in it. And once I'm in it, I can deal with it. Before and after is the problem. T-Mobile helped with that. Y'all saw the message. T-Mobile helped me not have to talk about it earlier, but afterwards I'll be talking about it. How did y'all find each other? How did y'all get together and say, we need to put this bitch down? Because see, the thing is, Vista Maria doesn't need to just lose a lawsuit. Vista Maria needs to be demolished.
Yes.
I believe that Vista Maria needs to be destroyed in every way possible. There's nothing good that's going to come up out of that soil. I'm sorry, I overstepped. Go ahead.
Trisha's niece started it.
I say we hire a bulldozing company.
I say we have a bond.
Yes.
Good.
Bonfire.
Let's talk about that stuff offline. Let's not strategize online. Let's talk about that stuff offline. So wait a minute. So the youngin got this ball rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
God bless her.
She ran in March. And I had a reporter reach out about 3 weeks later and asked to cover her story. And I at first hesitated. And then I was like, no, I got to get her story out there, this and that. And then the reporter found out it had actually been 3 weeks since she ran, which she found suspicious. And of course, during that first initial interview, I was very hesitant about what I said. And then I went and looked at the reviews on Vista, and that's when I was like, no, this ain't flying. And so I reached back out to the reporter, and I'm like, there's more going on. She didn't just run off to be a brat. She ran off for a reason. And so the reporter started digging more into it. And then we found her 3 weeks after that. And then it was a couple weeks later that Moose had actually reached out to me on Instagram. And then
So who is Moose? Who is Moose? Moose isn't the attorney. Moose is Mike's the attorney. Who's Moose?
They're
One
both-
of
Oh,
them.
Moose is okay. He's one of the attorneys. Okay. I got it. Okay, so there were about 10, maybe 15 ladies at the presser, right? About 10, maybe 10 or so. 10, maybe.
8.
8,
It was
9.
about 8.
About 8. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it looked different. Oh, it might have been only like 3 or 4 here. Okay, you're right. How many ladies right now are in pocket in trying to put this lawsuit together? Because I know everybody wasn't at that presser.
I think a little over 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
45.
45 so far.
Okay, that's beautiful. So, with that being said, and maybe you know this and maybe you don't, because I know we've talked a little bit, Nick. What's the oldest individual that is a part of the wheel right now? Because more are probably going to come out of the woodwork, hopefully soon. But what's the oldest lady that went through Vista that is a part of your situation?
I believe it was a lady in the 80s in there.
Yeah.
So she was a teenager in the 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s. I'm 56. So she could be on the high end of 50, approaching 60. She could be on the lower end of 50. So she was in there in the 80s. She was in there 40 plus years ago. And she's in pocket right now. She's ready to tell her story right now in court. Have you ladies all had a chance to meet up with her?
I don't know. I don't think I know who they're talking about.
Okay. Nick, you personally have talked to her?
She's in our Vista Maria group, but I'm not going to mention her name because she doesn't want to.
No. I don't want you to mention her name, but I would like you to give me at least, if you can, some of her history, what she may have went through 20 plus years earlier than some of y'all did.
I seen one lady in a comment who said she was in there in like 87 or 88. And then I believe the other lady is like in her 40s or 50s, at least 50. Judging by the 88, so that's got to be in the 50s.
Absolutely.
I can't look at the comment, but the lady had definitely said something. Okay.
And what was her experience? Was it just abusive behavior, neglect, or were the same things that you ladies have gone through and that the youngin went through? Was that going on in the 80s? You're muffled. You weren't clearing any of that.
I'd have to look at her comment because I don't want to quote what she said and I can't remember.
Sure. No, and that's not what this is for. I guess I'm just trying to find out some of the history, because I know that the time for
on Facebook.
Say it one more time.
It's a public comment.
Okay.
Like, anybody can see the comment. It's on Facebook under one of our videos when we did the interview.
Okay. I'm going to be looking at that stuff. I'll have some time because the next time I circle back around, whether it be one or all of us again and maybe more, I want to have a little bit more intel as to the history. This is easy to talk about for us right now. I mean, it's difficult situations, but it's easy for us to talk about. But when we start like being really calculated that there was a history, because what I really want to do, it's a fucked up feeling to know that I know that they had good intentions in 1883 when this shit started, but to know where it got to, and we know as early as the 80s and as late as recent, your niece ran in 25. So from 1883 to 2025, there was a big change. I want to know where that switch was. I'd love to find somebody that was there in the 60s and 70s that could say, things had started to change a little bit. But before we really get out of here, because I want to know, you had an issue with your first foster home, Nick, right? You had a foster parent, foster dad, using that term loosely, who you didn't feel comfortable around. And that spun you.
He was very, very uncomfortable person. Being as I was a young lady who was already raped before I even went into this system by my uncle.
Okay.
So it comes from a line of history. My mom was also raped by the same person. It was her brother. And her mother told her, if you tell anybody, I'll disown you and you'll be put out when my mom was 14, 15 years old. So it sent my mom into like this drug spin. She wasn't a good parent. And it kind of fucked up her life. So I don't fully blame my mom. As I've gotten older, we have a semi-okay relationship. We're okay from a distance. But our relationship isn't great due to the childhood history.
Sure.
But the foster kid, he did a lot of shit that I just wasn't comfortable with. Like, I shouldn't have to walk out of my room and see you pissing. I don't want to see your dick. I'm a kid.
Y'all didn't have a door? Y'all didn't have no door? Y'all didn't have no door that could close?
There was a door. It was multiple doors.
So he did that purposely. He did that to make sure that happened.
And like he would always get real close, and he did like little stuff. The day he grabbed my thigh was the day that I said I was gone.
This is your foster dad?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the motherfucker that takes the oath. I don't know if they take an oath or not. I guess they make a promise that they're going to care for a kid who obviously hasn't had a good way, or they wouldn't be fucking in business. And after you've gone through what you've gone through, so your mother was raped by her brother, and then you were raped by the uncle who was the same brother, and then you went through whatever plight you went through, ended up in Vista Maria. You get out of Vista Maria and you go to a foster care home, and then you're abused sexually by the foster parent.
Yeah,
Who was advocating for you at that time? Did you have a caseworker?
I
Okay.
had so many people that was in and out and in and out, and they changed all the time. I didn't know who I was dealing with. And by the time I hit about 13, 14 years old, I wanted nothing to do with anybody. I was going to figure it out on my own.
Got it. Aaliyah, do you say you've been in 11 foster homes? You say 11?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I'm weird with numbers and words. I remember the number. So 11 different foster care homes. How many of them, well, maybe 10, right? Because fuck, if you had to go to 11, then obviously the other 10 weren't worth a shit. But let's just say, was there ever any foster homes that treated you decently, or were they all fucked up?
There was a couple that treated me decently. I just didn't really care because I wanted to go home. I had family that they just took me from. They ripped me from my family and didn't care. So why would I?
So you were desensitized too. So Nick was desensitized. You were desensitized. So even if there was any type of goodness that may have came out, because Nick, you said you had a decent foster care mother, but by then you were already experienced in the game and you were kind of checked out. And so I get that. So even if there was goodness coming from it, Aaliyah, you had already emotionally checked out and you were just like, done with it. Didn't even matter how good they could do at that point.
Back every home I was in, so that way they'd send me home. But I didn't understand what would happen.
Okay, you didn't understand that it wasn't sending you back to where you wanted to be. It was going to send you back to where they had got you from at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, did you have a good foster care experience at all?
No, none at all.
Never.
Not that I remember.
And well, I'm going to ask you this again because I know for a fact, I listened to the presser. I've listened to you today. Were you ever abused sexually in a foster care home?
I was never in a foster care home.
Oh, okay. So you never were in a domestic, just, foster mom, foster dad. You were only in a facility. Okay.
Yep.
So all of your detriment happened solely at Vista Maria, or were you ever in another campus?
I was, like I said, I was in Vista Maria twice. All the abuse that I experienced happened the first time I was there. The building was called Beato Hall.
Okay.
The second time I was there, I didn't experience any abuse, but I still dealt with the trauma from the first building. I didn't even want to be at Rose Hall to begin with. I didn't want to be nowhere near that building. I still don't.
Did you have special services because of your first experience and they knew what you went through? Or did they just kind of treat you like, she's back and then nothing? I mean, because I guess I'm thinking you've got a file, you've got a chart, right? That they can see your history, whether they don't want to believe it or not. You can say alleged history. Did they give you any type of special treatment or advocacy because of what you had potentially went through? Or was it just...
Support. I didn't get no therapy. I dealt with it mostly on my own. I acted out a lot more after that happened because nobody believed me and I didn't get the support. The only thing they really did was put me on medication, a lot of medication. And that's the reason why I believe what happened with me the first time is because I was on so much medication, I couldn't fight back even if I wanted to.
So they had sedated you to the point where you were just
A zombie.
whatever. Yeah.
A zombie.
Okay. And at this point, you're what age?
I was 15 when that happened.
Oh, okay. So you're a Momo at fucking 15, getting no support, no advocacy. You have nobody that's fruitful in your life. Fuck, the most positive
my mom
thing.
didn't believe me at first either.
Wow.
So I didn't really get any support in foster care or at home.
In all fairness to your mom, because I know you said she ended up getting clean. Is she still clean? She's still around? She's still with us?
Unfortunately, she passed away in 2020, but she remained clean ever since I got out.
God rest her soul.
She changed her life.
She changed her life.
I saved my mom.
Okay. Okay. And she didn't believe you at this time. Was that still when she was on narcotics though? She hadn't gotten clean at that point, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. And that's probably why there was the disbelief. That's probably why there was the cynicism. Sure. She believed you once she got her life right and she was advocating for you. I mean, clarity is a motherfucker. It really is. You have that cloud and yeah, they're going to be cynics. So I'm hoping and praying, Trish, that can I get a letter of her name just so we don't have to keep saying youngin? What's a letter of her name?
Her name is Tasia. I don't care to share.
Okay, Tasia.
It was
Okay.
in the news at one point. They blocked it out after she was found, but I'm like, people can still go see it.
No, protect her at all costs. I didn't even need Tasia. I just said T. So I'm hoping she never goes back into the scenario of having to go down the road that the other young ladies that went through and what she's gone through. So I've got to ask you, your question is going to be different. What's going to keep her? At this point right now, what keeps her from going back down that road, from experiencing some of the shit that she's experienced to where she's inside the walls, if not of Vista Maria, hopefully not of Vista Maria, because that motherfucker needs to go. I got a gas can in my garage, and we can start filling that bitch up as soon as we hit off. We won't do that today. Okay, we won't do that today, but we'll talk offline. I just think the motherfucker needs to be burned down. It can't do any good, right? Can Vista Maria do any good at this point to anybody?
No.
Other just being flat land? I mean, I don't give a fuck. It's done enough detriment. So, but for you, Tay, or not you, Trish, what can happen for Tay to where she doesn't return to that life? Like, what does she got to do? What?
I'm not 100% sure. She is doing better already in the year since.
Good.
She had experienced things before Vista.
Sure.
And then during Vista, and then while she was missing,
okay.
She was actually found with a 60-something-year-old man.
Yeah, I think we know about the story. So is the pedo in jail still? Is he in jail?
No. He got probation.
What?
He got probation. Impossible deportation. I've not heard on the deportation part yet.
He's illegal?
He was here on a work visa.
Nick knows where I'm at with this shit. So it's different. It's different because y'all seeing me in a different way. I don't have any problem with immigrants. But I do have problems with illegal motherfuckers who come over here to commit their crimes. Go back to where the fuck you came from and do that shit. Not here.
Right.
It's just, he's an illegal. So you know what? I've looked at countless videos about her situation, and I never remember them ever saying he was undocumented. Maybe I wasn't listening clearly. Did they ever say it in the news?
Visa. He was on a work visa. But
the visa expired.
That's what I had heard, and then they were like, well, we don't know exactly. And I'm like, either way, he committed a crime that goes against the visa.
Absolutely.
Why is even possible deportation, and why did he only get probation?
So wait a minute. What was the crime? What was the actual crime that he was given probation for?
From what I can remember, because that was a year ago, he gave her weed, and I can't remember if he admitted to assaulting her or not, but I think that was one of the charges. One of the charges.
Did he assault her?
He says that they slept together, yeah.
I've always hated that term, y'all. I'm sorry. I've always hated that term because the one thing, and this is my logic of that, when there is communication between your bodies and exchanging of the fluids, there ain't no sleeping going on. So I get it. I've never understood why a motherfucker says, yeah, we slept together. No, you didn't. You motherfuckers were awake. So with his ass, 60-something years old, and at the time, how old was she?
She was 16.
Okay. 50 years older than she is. 50 years older. The discretion is already gone because she's already in his fucking company. And it ain't his niece, it ain't his granddaughter, it ain't his daughter.
He knew she
The
was
discretion
running.
is... Oh, and he knew she was a runaway, but he chose to take her back to his home and not to the police.
They actually interviewed him at his place of work, the whole work, I guess. They interviewed, and he was like, no, I don't know who she is. I don't know where she's at. And then they were led back to him.
So he lied to the police. That's a crime, too. He lied to the police. He harbored a minor. He, what do they call, illicit substances to a minor? That's 3 charges. Sexual deviance, that's 4 charges. How the fuck does he get probation?
If you could
I mean, I got a minimum of 4.
I was pissed
So
when I
he-
found out.
So he's still walking around and breathing the same air that y'all and I are breathing?
Yep.
Did they make him move? Did they make him move out of the territory?
I don't know. I can't find out anymore. They said that because I'm not her legal guardian or anything, they can't tell me. I think they're also afraid I'll go find him, but
Oh, sure. As they should be. Seeing that they didn't do their fucking job, maybe somebody needs to come behind and do some fucking work. Probate? I didn't even know the case had went to court and finished. I was waiting to find out. So, how did they get shit like that in, out the court system, probation, this motherfucker's done, but then other motherfuckers are sitting in county jail for fucking 8 years and shit, waiting for their murder case to come up? That's wild to me. And what's to say that that motherfucker doesn't see her walking down the street one day and grab her? He's loose. Is he on a tether? I mean, we don't know anything because they can't give you anything because you're not the legal guardian. Which is some really weird shit anyway. If you've got control, if you know they know you, I hate that legal guardian shit. Because if something happens, she comes to you and she's keeled over and she needs to go to the hospital, what do you got to do? Find the legal guardian before you can go to the ER? No, you got to take her. Mm-hmm. Or do you wait to call 911 and so law enforcement comes and they got... No. Present. That's all that matters. Who's present? Who's in their lives? Who's in your lives? I never understood any of that shit. Okay. So, what's the next step for the lawsuit? I know that you guys have way more stuff, and I'm sorry.
Filed this week.
Okay. And once it gets filed, will there be an opportunity for other ladies who are learning and who gain the courage to come forward? Will there be an opportunity for them to jump on? Or once it's filed, it's only going to be for the ladies who are in the suit then? Like, is it an open-ended thing?
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I don't know, but I do know that one of our hopes with the lawsuit is that they'll change a Michigan law. Because right now there's a law for a statute of limitations. So a lot of us that are over 28, like me and Michelle, it's harder for us with the lawsuit because there's a statute of limitations. But hopefully with this lawsuit, they'll burn that bitch to the ground, close Vista Maria down entirely, and then look into the entire foster care system as well as change that law. Anybody who is a victim should be able to come forward at any given time.
Absolutely. And understanding that this is an isolated situation for Vista Maria, and that's why I'm hoping that, this is able to run long, really run long. Girls that were at other facilities who are now women now, they may get the organization and build together we need to get Tasia in pocket. We need to get Tasia. She's an instigator, so we need to get her in pocket. Because literally, that's what's happened. Some of these ladies have gotten to the point where that was a fight in yesteryear and they've gone on to forget about it. But the trauma remains. It never goes away. As per Michelle, she said she's never going to forget it. You're never going to forget it, Nick. You're never going to forget it, Aaliyah. Trisha, Tasia's never going to forget it. And none of you ladies are ever going to forget the shit. They're hoping you forget it. They're hoping that the statute of limitations passes, which is just beyond me. Why the fuck there's statute of limitations for abuse? If somebody was abused in 1927, if the abuser's still around, that motherfucker needs to go.
They need to go. Murder, so why is there a statute of limitations for abuse?
They have no statute of limitations for what?
Murder.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry.
Why do we have one for abuse? Why can't
Because
us young women, even with rape, why can't us who have been raped come forward? Look at
this is the thing. This is the thing. The people who wrote those laws way back when were some of the biggest predators. So you got to understand. They still are. I was trying not to go there. But when you put people in powerful positions and they've done bad, they're not going to not do bad shit because they're empowered. They're going to do worse shit and get away with it. And if statute of limitations has passed, so many people are going to say, shit, I got over it. Statute of limitations comes up. Now that's when you get motherfuckers shaking, and then you get people talking like, well, I wasn't me, and I wasn't here, and I wasn't there. You know, this Epstein shit, it's literally nothing compared to what y'all had to go through. It's just got a lot of high-profile people in it. And I really stayed away from talking about the Epstein shit because I knew it had a lot of high-profile people. Not that I didn't feel for the young ladies, but I'm sure you ladies have followed some of it, if not all of it, because it's synonymous of what you had to deal with as far as abuse. Some of the girls that were abused in the Epstein history, have you heard that some of them are like children of powerful people? Like, they were like towel girls at Mar-a-Lago and some of the other resorts and shit like that. Like, they were well-to-do people. And their kids were allowed to work in these places, and they ended up being trafficked. Predators don't give a fuck. They don't care that your dad is a corporate lawyer, da-da-dee-da-da-da. He put you in here, and he knows what we do, so we're about to do the same shit to you. And in your cases, in your ladies' cases, and in Tasia's case, nobody gives a fuck once you get behind the wall. Because once you get behind the wall, what did the bitch say? What did the bitch say to y'all? I get to go home at night.
Mm-hmm.
I get to go home at night. I get to go home and sleep in my bed, and I don't give a fuck about anything that happens here. I'm going to punch in. I'm going to punch out. And I get to go home at night. You don't even utter no shit like that if you care. Because truthfully, mentally, you never go home at night. Mentally, you're there 24 hours a day. And for people like that to be in play with y'all back then, and most recently, Tasia, it's nuts to me that there's a statute of limitations that hundreds of them are going to walk. Hundreds of them will never actually come in contact with any law enforcement, any interrogation, any nothing. That's bizarre to me. And those are the laws that need to be changed. I don't know if there's a monetary gain out of this. If there is, get it, bleed it for every fucking thing. Maybe they destroy that motherfucker and they sell the property and you all reap the benefits of what would come from the sale. I don't know. I don't want to get into the pie in the sky shit. But you don't just need money. You need change. You need justice. And you need to make sure that no other girl experiences what the fuck y'all experienced. Because we know right now, crazy as fucking it is, 1238, some girls going through the same shit that y'all went through. Not in the world, in Michigan, in Washington or Wayne or Oakland or Macomb County, right here. And ain't nobody doing shit about it. And some funky bitch is sitting somewhere talking about, I get to go home and sleep in my bed at night. And some rancid motherfucker is casing the corridor to see who he's going to fucking pick off for the day. Somebody's got their knee in somebody's back. Somebody's sitting on somebody's back. Somebody's twisting somebody's arm beyond recognition. And somebody just walked away from a door that somebody's going to slip out of and get into the wind tonight. Right here in Michigan. Y'all need justice, y'all. And you got to keep fighting. Don't let nobody get discouraged if you're going to end up with some hiccups. Once the shit gets filed, there's going to be a whole bunch of hiccups and all kinds. Don't get discouraged. Just let your attorneys handle all that shit and be ready to mic up whenever and say whatever and do whatever and never lose each other's backs. I'm not telling you to ever go against Mike and Moose and whoever your attorneys are, but keep each other. Because above all, you have each other. Y'all had each other before you had Moose and Mike. Because you all have the same commonality. You all have the same sisterhood. Unfortunate sisterhood. So don't lose that shit.
One of my
and
best
I need
friends
you
is actually from Vista.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
One of your best friends what?
We was friends in Vista.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I think the call, obviously, for justice has to be the changing of the bills. Ultimately, we want Vista closed and shut down and burned down or whatever, however they're going to do it. But can you get at anybody that may be in there or get at anybody that may have people in there like currently? Because, see, I'm all about ruffling some fucking feathers. Because we know for a fact that girls are being mistreated to this day. Is there any way for you to be able to, hopefully these hashtags sometimes reach people and they're like, I got a family member in Vista. And if they say something in your post, get at them and see if there's something you can do, because you got to tell your story to that person independently. And I bet you'll start to get traction with people who have family members and friends of family members in that place. We need to start to literally rattle the cage of Vista Maria. The lawsuit's going to do some things, and they're already ramping up. They've got attorneys and things like that to combat it. But public perception is one thing. Judicial perception is another. And you need all of that wheel going. Now, some of the people they've passed on. They were outcasted. Hopefully you'll get some of those former people that are still around. Not going to ask you to divulge, but your police officer, do you know if that police officer is still working, Nick?
I don't know. I'm guessing that he would probably be retired because he was 40-something back then, which would make him around 60-something now.
Okay, so he's possibly retired. I'd love to see him get served with a subpoena to show up in court and talk about his employment history because they don't have to give him anything and go to his house and put bracelets on him and all that shit. Just get him to the court so he can tell about his daily ongoings of what happened at Vista Maria. And that will basically incriminate himself. Hopefully they go at this strategically to where they can get some of these people where they'll be like, oh no, you're not being investigated for anything. We just need you to come in and talk about your history at Vista Maria. And then once they get in there and get the fucking lying and hemming and hawing and shit, then they can open up an investigation. Because we don't want the investigation to get opened up too soon because of fucking statute of limitations.
Yeah,
So the statute of limitations is up on all y'all?
Not all of us.
Okay.
Anybody that's 28 and over, but we are also doing what we need to do. We will also still be included in the lawsuit.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I mean, because you're in the lawsuit, but what I'm saying is your stories are still going to carry the weight. It's not like they can say, what do they say? This is not admissible because you're all over 28. They're not going to throw you all out because you're over 28 and they're only going to listen to the 28 and under cases. You're still relevant in the case is what I'm asking.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ladies, I appreciate you. I'm feeling better that we got this first discussion. I would hope, because I've got some people that I deal with on my side. Nick knows, who are advocates, who are people that can help, with some things that you got going on in life to this day. Starting with Tasia, who is a minor still, to, young ladies like yourselves. I try to help where I can. I know some of you have children. I have grandchildren, so I understand, and the impacts of this has really kind of slowed your lives up. I'm not trying to jump in your business at all anywhere, but wherever I can help down the line, wherever people that I work with can help, they're going to help. Once I'm in the know, I'm in motion. And just don't let this shit go. It's going to get tiring. You're going to get depressed. You're going to find one another. Wrap your arms around each other. I think Nick and I, we talked a little bit earlier this week. I reached out and helped some people a couple months ago. Ain't heard shit from them since. But I didn't realize you ain't heard shit from them since either. No. And I don't know what happens when you help people and they turn ass on you. But see, the thing that I've learned in the last few months, I've had to do the same. I'm old, and I'm old enough to know better. But I'm always that one that's going to ride. I'm a ride. But I've literally had motherfuckers walk up to me and say, fuck you. I don't need your help. Not literally, but figuratively in their actions. But then they went behind my back and they talked to other people and they told them, like, who does he think he is? Well, I'm the motherfucker that was trying to help you turn your life around. But it doesn't always come with, very soft conversations. You got to get up off your ass to crawl. Not to walk, not to run. You got to get up off your ass just to crawl. So when people say you got to crawl before you walk, no, you got to get up off your ass before you even crawl. You ladies have crawled. You have walked. Now you're running. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you to the point where I know this isn't the last time we're all going to talk collectively and even individually. We've got our little group, and we need to get that off of Fedbook too. We need to get our regular shit off because they can see all the messages that we be saying. They just don't say nothing because we ain't talked about blowing no shit up or nothing. But if we ever do talk about blowing the shit up, let's be off on our own shit. Anyway, but we are in a space right now where things are moving, and hopefully Mike and Moose are going to have some words for you in the next couple of weeks where they're going to get this lawsuit on, and you've got something really to latch onto, more ladies coming on. And anybody that's possibly gone in and out of that place over the last couple of months, you need to be grabbing them. Hey, this is us. We're here. We're your sisters, bam, 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 and keep them close. Because those recent stories are going to be just as horrific as the ones from 40, 50 years ago. And they're all going to be just as impactful. When you fill that courtroom up with 50 to 100 women, when y'all go to court, it's going to be daunting. And it ain't no hearsay shit at that point. He say, she say shit. I'm as bad as Aaliyah with the monitoring thing. But no, we're going to be good. We're gonna be good. But if y'all need help, you centrally know how to reach out to me. But I do advocate for the reasons that I think it's just the right thing to do. Even when I don't have the time, I try to make time. Unfortunately, there is a profit from abuse of minors. Wow. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Unfortunately, there is profit from the abuse sexually of minors. This is a disgusting sickness in our society, from the highest points in the society to the lowest points. Sadly, in many cases, the abusers are protected in our system. Absolutely. 1,000%, Monica. I appreciate you checking us out. Monica's another advocate in the community who helps out where she can. We're going to see each other again. We're all going to see each other again. And from Tasia, the youngest, to the ladies, I'm not told to ask nobody's age, so I ain't going to ask nobody's age. To the oldest here, y'all all the same. You're all the same. You've been in this place. Trish, I admire you for making sure that you got Tasia in pocket, keep her there. Reach out to whenever you need things, because it's going to get tough. It's going to get tough, and I don't give a fuck who didn't believe what you said. I've believed every word of it ever since I started hearing some of it. And now that I know more, I'm going to go do more work on the House of the Good Shepherd. Because I really believe that at one time, that place had good intentions and was doing good things for disenfranchised girls. But somewhere there was a fork in the road, and the animals were starting to come in, and they never vetted them. And I believe that you can vet situations like that. I believe you, because if you see one that comes in and he has bad intentions, you get him out, or her, or whomever. You don't let them linger. You don't move them to another building. You get them out. And that didn't happen. And it just kept manifesting and manifesting and manifesting. Pretty soon you've got, you said 50-50 workers, male, female. Out of the 50% of the workers that were male, what percentage do you think were decent? Average, approximate.
Sorry, did you say men?
Yeah, of the men, how many would you say were decent? Because there was only half the staff. What percentage would you say were decent? 10%? 1 out of 10?
2%.
2%. So if 50 guys worked there, 3%? We can't even get to 10%. If 50 of them worked there, we can't even get to 5 of them. How about the women? Are the stats any better for them? Were there more decency with the women? So the same level. So put 50 women together and 50 men together. Let's make it an even number. We got 100 people. And you're saying 3 or 4%. That's 3 to 4 out of 100 people that were on the good side of history. And this place is still functioning today. Do you know what happens when you have a 96% failure rate in every other facet of life? I mean, you got a 96% failure rate at work. You gonna keep that job? You going to work tomorrow? Or they firing you today?
Firing me today.
You're gone. And then they're going to see why you were so bad. And when they feel like you were so bad, they're going to investigate that. And if it finds out it was some shit like what y'all had to go through, they should be arrested. Because everybody wasn't an abuser. They might have been neglecting. They might have been this. They might have just, hey, could have been that bitch that says, I'm going home at the end of the night. That's neglect. If they're that bad, how are they still in your life? That's the crazy thing to me. So I know I ran off a little bit at the end here, but I appreciate y'all ladies. Take care of yourselves. I know you have to deal with the history of this every day. You have to wake up with it. You have to go to bed with it. But know that you're past that. You're past that, and you've got people around you now that are going to protect you. Protect your young ones. If you have young children, protect your young ones. Don't let them get into a situation where you're going to be looking at them across the courtroom or losing them. Protect them at all cost, because we know what else is out there. We know what the situation is out there that they're going to head to. So do everything you can to keep yours in pocket. I never know how to end these type things. So I literally want to say, I promise this is obviously not the last time you're going to talk to me, but I'm going to start to run through the people that I know advocate for ladies like yourselves and bring them on to start to talk. And I'll give you the heads up so you can join in, and send you the link to that stream so you can join into that stream. And if you have questions or concerns, anything, nothing ever to violate your suit, because I keep my eye on the prize. But you need the voice. There's more room out than in, and this needs as much exposure as you can get to the day a motherfucker says, all rise. So please understand that. Please understand. Please understand. You have to stay together. Please promise me that y'all will stay together.
Absolutely.
All right. I appreciate that. And Nick dropped out on us. She might have lost her signal or something. I know she's there. I appreciate y'all. Take care of Tasia, Trisha, Aaliyah. You take care of yourself. Michelle, you take care of yourself. Brave souls. Brave souls.
Thank you for hearing us today.
Thank you
Shannon.
for hearing us.
I'm hearing you, and I'll be texting you. I'll be inboxing you here shortly, because I appreciate everybody that came up, and the folks that couldn't come up, we'll get them next time. You ladies be good.
You too. Thank
Awesome.
you.
We'll try.
All right, talk soon. Absolutely, absolutely.
Talk
One
soon.
love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I literally got to get out of here, y'all, because I'm actually supposed to be going to get a pedicure, of all things. Not really pampering, more out of necessity, just to make sure I keep these wheels right. this was one of my more difficult discussions because I had to listen to things that happen to young girls, and y'all know I'm a girl dad. These girls need justice, and I hope they get justice. I hope this came through as clear as possible for everybody. I'm going to be chopping it up later, like literally chopping it up and sending clips out. Share the clips. Share the clips. Please share the clips. Share these girls' history. It ain't for me. Y'all know I don't do shit for likes and loves and all that shit, and I appreciate everybody that has done that. But share the clips. Share their histories, their plights. Because there's so many more out there that we didn't talk to today that we will talk to. And I appreciate y'all, and we'll just get back at it. You know, we'll get back at it. I just don't know exactly how all this ends for them. This lawsuit could be a total victory. It could be a total win for them, but they still got to live that lives. So that's unnerving to me. So y'all be good. I'll be better. And we'll talk soon. One love.
I'm blacker than 8 tracks and stacks of DVDs. We go back like flat tires. I'm blacker than sapphire. Blacker than Baptist churches down south with a black choir. Blacker than smoke detectors that's beeping all through the year. Blacker than sneaking snacks in the back of the movie theater. I'm blacker than Coltrane. Blacker than Soul Train. Blacker than gold teeth.